Howdy folks, Laxo here again, and today we're going to be getting into a World Championship battle. So, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but earlier when I posted my Team Builders Guide video, or not Team Builders Guide, but Building Teams video, I was using my phone because it's always so much easier to place units using my fingers than it is with a mouse. Like, I'm trying to scroll up here, as you guys can see, and I'm not able to scroll up because things like that happen. So it's a lot easier using my phone sometimes. But as you can see, I'm 65, and oh, looks like we got a Peace over here using his best robot impression. And I'm pushing up the ranks, so the next couple days I'm going to be able to show you guys some interesting battles. But today I finally fought somebody that wasn't a robot, so we're going to go ahead and show you guys this battle today against Wizard. Alright, so I'm using pretty much the same teams that I showed you guys yesterday. I did swap around, I think, one unit, maybe 2 units, and I swapped around their position as well. But other than that, all my teams are roughly the exact same, and let's go ahead and get into a battle. So, it was brought to my attention that I didn't have a bleed in the team comp with Byakuya, and I understand that Byakuya does get a little extra damage. I believe I calculated it to be like 150k extra or something like that, 100k extra per unit. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and toss him in there. Or a bleed unit, I should clarify. So I went ahead and swapped around, and I put Tosin in this lineup. Now, I didn't really want Tosin in this lineup, but I saw that, you know, I didn't really have too much help with Byakuya's damage other than maybe Ulquiorra in this lineup, so I said, you know what, it's probably best if I just toss in Tosin, because he does give good attack, good bleed, and defense reduction, so it'll help out Byakuya quite a bit. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out the second battle here. Alright, so I believe this lineup is the exact same. I was contemplating moving Valentine's Day Yoruichi over to the number 1 slot, but then, like, you know what, I really do like her in the 3rd slot here, so we're gonna leave her in this 3rd slot here. Other than that, I put Sodeno over here in the middle slot because I did do a couple battles and I noticed that Hyoden Maru was getting blown up, because I think the middle slot is pretty much the most commonly attacked slot in the front lineup. So he was getting blown up turn 1. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and swap it over. Put Sodeno in the 2 slot, even though I do like Sodeno in the number 1 slot. We're gonna go ahead and leave her in the 2 slot for now. Other than that, I actually have seen other people use the same little combo that I have, putting other freeze units in with Hyoden Maru. I even saw Toshido, the snowboard Toshido, which isn't too bad, because it is guaranteed 1 freeze on the unit, but it wasn't a full team freeze that's a possibility. And on top of that, every time I've ever used Toshido snowboard, he doesn't really do any other freeze other than that 1 guaranteed freeze. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and not put Toshido in that lineup. Anyways, here we have Yoruichi, only 1.5 mil. One thing I did notice running this team comp is I don't have too much helping Yoruichi out, Valentine's Day Yoruichi. I mean, I do have a bunch of front row damage here. As you can see, all 3 of these units are front row damage killers. So, all 3 are pretty good units, but I don't really have too much helping them out, other than, I mean, maybe Unohana, because, you know, just as you saw right there, she does do some rage recovery. Other than that, I don't really have too much helping them out. So, maybe what I should do is swap over. I'm thinking, what if I make this like an all-female team comp? I remove Hyoden Maru, and then I toss in another unit like It's got to be one of the original SSR units. I could probably toss in Matsumoto just because she, Rangiku, just because she has some pretty good CC. But we'll see. Just a thought. But I think this one does a little more damage, does it? Yeah, a little more damage. Other than that, I think this, I did watch one or two battles of this, and this one does last a minute because they have not Unohana, Orihime in the front row. So I'll go ahead and skip this real quick. But I have noticed that having Unohana on a team is incredibly amazing when she has all 6 runes awakened. The rage regen you get from her is awesome, and on top of that, I've been using the Azure Warsaw on her, which lets her get her rage back on the first round and the second turn when she rages, and that's been really nice as well because, as you saw, she just raged like 2 turns in a row, which really helps out your team. However, I would suggest either putting her in the 3rd slot or maybe even the 6th slot. That way she can rage last, and she can. That way everyone else could use their rages, so she doesn't like give somebody rage that doesn't need rage. So they can use their skill and then get it back. That makes sense. But I definitely like having her in the 3rd slot here. So I believe everybody else is going down this round. Yep. Let's see. Alright, looks good enough to me. Let's go ahead and push on to the next round. Alright. So. This team is definitely severely lacking, I feel. The only thing I really have going for it is, of course, Soifone. Other than that, all my other units aren't really top-notch units. I mean, I do have Okiota at 6-star, of course, but all my other units really aren't that, you know, great, so I'm kind of thinking about maybe messing around with this team comp a little bit, but I do like the fact that I have lots of poison here. I have burn over here with Okiota, and I have more burn over here with Yamamoto, so I do have quite a few dots on this team. Let's see how many dots I get off here on this rage attack. Yeah, quite a few dots there. Let's check out more dots here. Oh, didn't really see them. Oh well. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the next round here. Or the next battle. Honestly, this team as well, I'm definitely seeing this team being a little bit lacking because I have no real major attackers. I just have, what? I have 3. I have 2, maybe 3 hybrid. So, and then I have 2 supports and 1 tank. So this team isn't that great either. I'm definitely going to use this team until I get to probably the top 50 or so, and then I'm going to swap around teams the last day, just so I can, you know, be a little bit more competitive. But yeah, this team isn't terrible. It's just not ideal. Go ahead and skip the next round here. Alright, looks like Baragon went down that round, unfortunately. But it's pretty much GG at this point. Man, I'm never gonna get over the fact that they really did Koga wrong. They did him so dirty. They're like, alright, one of the most beloved characters in Bleach. What can we do? Let's make him almost useless. Like, come on, guys. So dirty. I believe in Brave Souls they made Koga busted, and well, when he, you know, first released, he was really busted. But yeah, definitely did him dirty in this game. All right, let's go ahead and check out the next battle here. Oh, I actually did watch this battle because I was really interested to see how my team played out. As you can see, they have what? Or he has what? 1, 2, 3. He has 4. He has 4 skill specialty units on this team, and I have Toshido. So, what should happen is Toshido gives the rest of the team huge damage against the majority of their team, on top of me having 2 really big damage dealers that are attack specialty. So you're going to be seeing some big damage numbers this battle from the back 2. I think this almost kills Byakuya. Almost kills him, but he's still alive. I'm sorry. I always say Byakuya when I'm talking about Aizen, and then I say Aizen when I'm talking about Byakuya. So, forgive me. I mean, Aizen. They're both anniversary units. They both do roughly the same thing, you know? But here we go. Okay, so defense reduction there. Attack reduction. Alright, here we're gonna get the trick proc, and then look at this damage here. Boom, 6 mil. 3 mil. Oof. That was 10 mil almost completely from Aizen, that battle. Or in one turn, I should say. So this was the team that I swapped out. Oh, geez, look at that. That's unfortunate for him. Took her out in one shot. That was his only hope that I destroyed right there. Wow. I did have a Tosin. I did have Tosin in place of Kira, and then I swapped them around, and I still like Kira on my other team because I feel like my other team they fight longer. So I wanted to put Kira in my other team so he can help Byakuya, you know, by controlling the healing on the enemy team, especially because he does help out with crit resist on the enemy as well. So he pretty much guarantees Byakuya will do crits and heavy damage at the same time. And of course I needed Tosin for this team because I was really trying to power up Muramasa as much as possible so he can one-shot the back row, which as you can tell, he pretty much did one-shot the back row, but not to the extent that I would have liked. Anyways, this should do quite a bit of damage here. 4 million. Woo, imagine if that was the front row. Alright, so with his back row dying, this battle is pretty much over. Alright, now this battle should pretty much be over here. Unfortunately, Muramasa didn't get enough rage back to rage. Alright, next turn he should be good here. But look at his front line. Staying alive, man. Pretty strong. This is a pretty solid front row on his part, if you think about it. He has one super tank and then he has two healers. Along with good DR as well, so fantastic front line for him. Alright, let's go ahead and see how much Muramasa is going to be doing here. I believe this is pretty much full damage, except for the fact that he has the DR up on his 6 mil. Pretty solid. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the last battle here. Alright, so here we are. 5 million damage from Ichigo turn 1. So, I know I've said this a million times, but I'll say it again. You always want to pair Dangai with Nell, because right out of the gate, Ichigo gets the most out of his kit. As you can see, if I did not have Nell in that lineup, he probably wouldn't have got 2 crits, and he definitely wouldn't have killed both of them. So, once again, I've said it a million times, I'll say it a million more. Team Ichigo with Nell. Alright, looks like this match is over. Let's go ahead and check out the teams real quick. Do a little bit of critiquing. Alright. So, first, let's go ahead and check out the first team. First team is, let's see, the front row is the back 3, and the back row is the front 3. So, I gotta remember that. I was just about to say, why did he have these 3 in the front row? Just about to say that. So, let's see. I'm assuming he has better units available to him than just these 2, I should say. Since Hinomari is actually not bad. So, let's say that he needs to replace probably these 3. If anything, he needs to replace these 4. The problem I see is Aizen just doesn't do enough damage to keep him viable in these late, like, Grandmaster type games. Aizen is just not enough damage. He's not reliable. The only thing he's really used for is a little bit of CC, maybe. That's about it. And removing or taking away the attack and defense of an enemy. Like, other than that, Aizen really doesn't do much. Byakuya, I've said a million times, he's really garbage. Don't use him. Doesn't do enough damage. Doesn't tank well enough. He's like Koga, but much worse. Yeah. Other than that, not a great team. I'd say find a sub for these 3, if not these 4. And, yeah. Moving on. Next team here, Rare Ichigo right at the gate. Need to get rid of Rare Ichigo. No reason for this guy to be in your team comps. Although I will say, I think I do prefer having Ichigo in a lineup more than Zangetsu. Unless you have 6 rune Zangetsu, use Zangetsu and not Ichigo. I do not like Ichigo. He just doesn't do enough damage. He's the first unit in the game. He's a rare unit on top of that. like how we troll and say, oh, Kone's the best character in the game. He's pretty much Kone, except for he attacks a column. So no need to have Ichigo in your team or any team for that matter. Other than that, looking at the front row is very solid. I do like Unohana. I like the Soul Hall, of course. Let's see here. Orihime is solid. Shinji, very, very good. Have him in the last spot. The only thing I'd have to say, I mean, I do see it's just a rage control team here, which isn't bad. But the problem I see is there is no win. There's no win condition at all. You're just kind of hoping that these 3 units do enough damage, which 2 of these units are pretty much Z DPS, and the other one is very little DPS. So, got to get rid of these 2, replace one of them, at least with a good damaging unit that's dependable. Alright, moving on here. Third, yeah, as I was saying, front row, fantastic. Back row, I like Shinji, but you need to replace those 2. Moving on. Next team here. Front row, I do not know why you have an attacker in the front row. If anything, I would suggest maybe swapping these 2 or something. Or maybe swapping these 2. Don't really like this too much. The Soul Hall, I'm assuming, is... Actually... Yeah, it would have to be. Because actually, no, it could be either or. I don't know what the Soul Hall was on this one, so... doesn't really matter. Nonetheless, need to put an actual tank in the front row. Can't be putting your damage dealers out to dry like that. Yeah, doesn't really help too much. Other than that, classic bleed. Got these 2 together. Good. Putting Aizen in the back. Good. Not really a big fan of the team. Gotta have like a pretty solid tank. Like, see these 3 here on the next team. All 3 of these are really solid tanks. Maybe put one of those 3 in this in this slot right here. And then on this team, let's go ahead and move down to the next team. On this team, you could probably put Ichigo in the front row, or you could put Kira in the front row, either or. If you can get Kira to 6-star or Ichigo to 6-star, put one of them in the front row, and then drop Ashisogi Jizo to the back line. That'll work. Let's see here. Other than that, front row, as I said, really, really good. All 3 of these units are strong. Got healing reduction. You got rage control. I think it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So having her in the 3rd slot, good. Aizen in the 1 slot. Heineko in the 2nd slot, good. Healing reduction, good. Pretty solid front row damage here. Good. I would like to see possibly Aizen teamed up with Noel. Noel and Aizen together work phenomenally. So maybe even swap Ichigo out and then put Noel in there. Other than that, good team. I like how he has just massive healing. Like, if you go against this team, you're getting 0 healing. As you can see, yeah, my Nell didn't really help out too much with heals of that battle because there was just so much anti-heal out there. So, yeah, other than that, great team. I do like the rage reduction, heal reduction. You have attack and defense steal, and you just have big front row damage. So, fantastic team comp. Love it. Don't have any complaints about it other than maybe swapping out Ichigo. Moving on. Round 5. Let's see. So, front row, I do like this front row. Obviously, you're using the Koga, I'd assume. You're using the Koga Soul Hall. So, very good. I do like that. Extra crit resist chance and block. Good. Yeah, this entire team comp is really, really solid. I do like it a lot. I would usually like to see Sogyo with a damage dealer of like a full team damage dealer. But I guess it works pretty well. If you can get Ichigo to attack his unit that has tricked on it, then you can get some really, really big damage out that way. So not bad. But the problem I see here is most likely it's going to be hitting a back unit because you have a column, you have column attacker, and you have column attacker and a back row attacker. So most likely Tricked is going to be landing on a back row target. You definitely don't want Tricked landing on the back row. You want it to be landing in the front row. Especially, well, you get more damage if it lands on the back row. However, you can get more healing if it lands on the front row. So probably swap out Sogyo or swap out one of these two for a full team attacker. That would probably be best. Even honestly, putting Sogyo with the Ashisogi Jizo, that turns out pretty well. Or maybe, you know, you got Byakuya here. He would be a good unit to team up with. Hyodemaru, he's good. Pretty much any of these 3 units right here, any of these 5 units really, are really good. But just not Ichigo and Gin. Moving on. Other than that, great team. Good thought. Again, just put Ashisogi Jizo in a different team comp. Other than that, good team comp. Moving on to this one. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this one was the amazing front line right here. So the problem I'm seeing is you have this is a fantastic front row and a fantastic back row, a lot of damage dealers, but I remember earlier you were lacking damage dealers in 1 or 2 team comps. So maybe spread out the love and the damage dealing to a different team so you can actually be competitive in 7 teams instead of just like 4 or 6 or 5 or whatever you're going for. Yeah, other than that, fantastic front row. Maybe toss one of these super tanks, or maybe toss one of these support healers or tanks on a different team, and same with the damage dealers. Other than that, all 6 of these characters are really good. They just don't work together super well. Moving on to the last team here, we have, let's see. So I would probably want to put, that's fine. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Maybe swap over Hyodemaru to the 3rd slot. And then Hozukimaru to the 2nd slot. Hozukimaru is pretty good in this slot here. The back row is pretty good as well. The only thing I'd probably swap over is maybe, no, I guess you kind of are stuck with this lineup here because you have Byakuya. Again, you have damage dealers clumped up that shouldn't be together. Byakuya is a good damage dealer, should not be on this team, not at all. Honestly, Ulquiorra and Byakuya should be on maybe this team up here. Put them on this team up here. And then maybe take Aizen. And then put Aizen on this team. Because Aizen can do some CC. Which will benefit the rest of the team. So, once again, it's a very weird spot for this team to be in. Maybe you could even put Sogyo on this team. Maybe. Because Sogyo has some paralyzes. But there's no reason Byakuya should be on this team, especially Ulquiorra. So take those 2 units off. Obviously, teaming up these 2 together, I understand what you're going for there, trying to go for the Rage Loop, so good job there. Other than that, yeah, I'd probably rate these teams pretty good for the most part, besides the 1 or 2 team comps that were just absolute duds like this up here. And a lot of confusion with units like this. Like, why do you have 3 really good tanks on a team with no damage? So, other than that, GG, Mr. Wizard. It was a pleasure doing battle with you. And, guys, that is actually going to wrap this one up. If you guys enjoyed this content, feel free to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. I would appreciate it. And, yeah, I got some more juicy battles coming tomorrow. So, keep your eyes open for those, and I'll catch you then as well.